Corrupt cops realize they destroyed their career.
I'm gonna lose my career over you.
While the law is supposed to be equal for everyone, some corrupt cops think they're above it.
Get on the ground!
God, oh God, when they get caught, they realize that the only thing they are above is their own head.
You can't.
Are we going to?
Buckle up, it's going to be a roller coaster of regret and the not-so-thin blue line. Imagine being a lieutenant and still having no regard for the law.
Out.
No, hold on, guys. One more time. No, one more time.
You're going to get a fucking taser.
Out of the vehicle. Can we talk about it?
Step out of the vehicle.
17, step it up.
Can we talk about it?
On November 13th, 2016, body camera footage captured two Montmorency County, Michigan sheriff's deputies dealing with a Washtenaw County lieutenant, Brian Philippak, who was accused of drunken driving in Montmorency County, Michigan. The officers approached him and asked that he step out of the car. The conversation that followed was a pretty interesting one.
Brian, I'm gonna have you step out of the car when I'll do field sobriety test for you. Where are you going to camp?
Michigan.
Balky, Michigan? Where's that? It's Hillman right around the corner. Hawks?
No, past Hawks.
The officer asked him what he wanted him to do, and his answer indicated that on top of being entitled, this guy was extremely intoxicated.
Just let me go.
I can't. I had multiple phone calls. You'd be in the same situation if I was in the vehicle in your county, correct?
I don't know.
I've got multiple 911 calls about a reckless driver, plate and all matches, almost hitting vehicles. I get behind you. You hit the shoulder of the road twice.
Brian was heard saying the same thing again and again, and even hinted at the on-duty cop to be a good guy and do him a favor.
I think I'm being decent, not yanking you out of this vehicle yet.
No.
I don't want to yank you out of this vehicle.
No, just let me go.
I can't. We're done with that.
No.
My bosses already know.
That's fine.
That's not fine. Step out of this vehicle right now.
Just let me go. Be a good guy.
I am being a good guy. Out of this vehicle. I'm asking you nicely.
Thinking his wish would be the officer's command, he then bluntly requested them.
Stop over and call it, okay?
I can't.
Do me a favor.
I can't.
Oh my God.
I'm not losing my career over you.
And I'm not losing my career either.
You doing exactly what you're doing is not helping your career out.
No, it's not. Well, let me go over.
I can't. We're done. Out of this vehicle now. I'm getting done with you.
Now that he had dragged the whole scene for quite some time, the officers had no choice but to yank him out themselves, and things got pretty heated as the taser came out.
Out of this vehicle.
Oh my gosh, no.
Out.
No.
We just have to. Out.
Brian, go.
No, hold on, guys.
Brian.
One more time.
Step out of the vehicle.
No,
Brian.
one more time.
Step
okay?
out
You're
of the
going to
vehicle.
get a taser.
No, one more
out of the
time.
vehicle.
Can we talk about it?
The officer then asked him if he wanted to do the field sobriety tests, but he was stuck on the cops, letting him go.
Walk the line, one-legged stands. You know the routine.
No, stop. Just let me.
We're done.
No, just let me do it.
Okay. Yes or no? We're gonna do field sobriety.
No, just let me.
I take that as a no.
I'm on your side.
You're on my side, then do the sobriety test.
No, I'm not on your side. If you're on my side, you'd let me just go.
I'm doing my job. You know that.
The officers then did the inevitable and put him under arrest.
You're under arrest.
No,
Place your hands behind your back.
No.
Don't make it even worse.
No, I'm not. Let's talk about it. Let's just.
No. Stop. I don't want to put you on the ground.
No,
I don't want to
want
make
you
this
to.
worse.
All right, I will just sleep it off.
You're dude. Stop it right now. You know.
Stop tensing up, man.
Even while he was about to be placed in the patrol vehicle, he kept telling the officers to think about it. And they did think. Not about letting him go, but about how to place him in their car.
I will sleep it off on the side of the road. You can come check on me anytime you want.
No. Have a seat.
No.
Brian.
No, just think about it.
I'm done.
No.
In my car. In my car. Get in there. Crawl in. I don't care.
We need to
You're
talk
sitting
about
down. You're sitting down in my car.
it. Let's talk about it, buddy.
If you think that situation could have been avoided easily, check out how berserk things went in the next one.
Get on the ground! Do you not listen? Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! There's a gun behind me. There's a gun, I believe, behind me.
I ain't got no gun now.
Put your hands behind your back.
A white family anonymously tipped the Orangeburg Police Department about Clarence Gaillard, whom they said was straying in front of their house with a gun. As Officer David Dukes arrived on the scene, well, You're about to see what transpired next.
Bird, get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground right here! You! Bird, you shark, get on the ground! Get on the ground!
It was then discovered that the unfortunate old man had recently undergone surgery, and when the cop got physical, things became more complex for him. Some neighbors overheard the commotion and came out to console Clarence.
Slam my head down.
After reporting the event to his supervisor, the officer quickly realized that he had made a mistake and would soon find himself in serious trouble. Fortunately, the elderly man's family member arrived and asked the police what was going on. See Clarence's account of the traumatic event he had just went through.
Yep, they slammed my head down on the cement. Y'all bust my head down. You threw me down.
I sure did. You wasn't listening.
Yep. You threw me down. You threw me down.
The elderly man was soon taken out of his cuffs, and emergency medical personnel showed up to see if he had suffered any head injuries or a concussion. Subsequently, the man's relative approached Officer David for an ID. Officer David lied and refused. Fortunately, his superior arrived on the scene and handled the matter. Jeez, I've never witnessed such a contempt for a fellow police officer in a superior's eyes.
The officer did wrong. Slam my head down. Bust my forehead. Slam my head down. Slam my head down.
When you're visually impaired, life is already tough. You don't need a couple of police officers making it harder for you.
I put him in jail for resisting.
Okay. All right, let's go.
I want your name and badge number 2, sir.
Have a seat.
You want to pick my property up, please?
I sure will, after you have a seat.
You want to pull this out of my back pocket?
Sure. Here, I'll grab your jacket for you, too.
A few police officers stopped 61-year-old James Hodges of Lake City on October 31st, 2022, when he was just going about his business. In many ways, what came next was completely unneeded and forceful.
What's this in your back pocket?
It's a navigational aid. What's the problem? You a tyrant?
Yeah, I am, actually. What's your name and date of birth?
I don't have to give that unless
Yes,
I'm
sir.
here.
I was
You
investigating.
have reasonable
Do you want me to
articulated
put you in
suspicion.
handcuffs right now? Yes, sir, I do.
What is your suspicion?
It looks like you're carrying a gun in your back pocket. I'm stopping to make sure you're carrying it properly.
Because they lacked a solid reason for James's arrest, the cops began making bogus allegations in an attempt to establish their fabricated story. But the elderly guy was wise and aware of his rights. He presented good reasons to the cops, and after hearing them, the officers lost their calm and did this.
I don't need the ID unless there's reasonable articulated suspicion that I have committed a crime, am committing a crime, or about to do a crime.
Sir, and her suspicion was that you were armed, okay? And she's asking you for your ID.
Well, now she has verified that I am not armed,
Okay.
so there is no
You got
problem.
your ID or not?
I do have my ID, but you don't need it.
The cops built up on their inappropriate behavior and began to harass him as they showed absolutely no regard for an elderly man who was also visually impaired. Take a look at how that went.
There you go.
Thank you.
I want your names and badge numbers.
1257 on Nick 65 floor 27.
Preferably
Hotel
your cards.
322-457-612-2540.
Sir, you legally blind? Yes, I am.
James Hodges was ultimately taken into custody on an unidentified offense, but the elderly man refused to be intimidated or subjugated. Then he said something so audacious that the other policemen began to truly dread this boomer.
I had to walk up here in the dark for jury duty, which was canceled. Why aren't you using your stick? You don't have to use your stick all the time? Not all the time.
All right, Mr. Hodges. Was that hard?
It's gonna be. I want your name and your badge number. I put him in jail for resisting.
All right, let's go.
Our next suspect let political power really go to his head.
You know, and you're already obviously intoxicated. Have a seat. Put your feet in.
Okay. Yes, sir. Hey, by the way, thank you for this.
On March 23, 2023, Oklahoma State Representative Dean Davis was found in a state of public drunkenness. Dean ran into the cops after he and his friends refused to leave a bar, even after it was shut down. Davis was also heard telling the officers that he was privileged for the status he holds as the state representative of Oklahoma. However, Law enforcement officials ignored the politician and took him into custody. Davis was then heard crying as he realized that he was being arrested and that the cops did not care about his powerful and influential position.
Give me weapons on you? What's going on here? You're intoxicating in public. Who's that? You have my phone over there. Sure. Okay. Right there. Yeah, we'll go with you. You guys really doing this?
No, sir, you are doing this.
The officer told him why he was being put in handcuffs and into the back of the patrol vehicle, just so Dean would calm down. But he was way too drunk with power, pun intended, to comprehend any of it, and kept on threatening the cops.
I don't understand what you guys are doing and why.
Whenever you want to not listen to simple commands, sir, you're given a couple of opportunities to walk away, but then you want to threaten us. What was that?
Trying to make it more comfortable for you. Can you tell my arm's so good?
He told the cop to take out a card from his phone case and read it out loud in an attempt to let him go because he was entitled to. And this turned out to be his credulity, as the officer did not budge at all.
You're not in the legislature.
Yes, I am.
Well, you're not in the state capitol right now.
Call your advisor, call everyone. Hey, TJ!
I don't answer to TJ.
No, you don't have to, but
So
they're going to call your advisor.
If you, instead of talking, if you'll listen for just a minute, I'm not arresting you at the state legislature.
You can't
or going to or
detain
from.
me.
I can, and I am right now.
But what happens when you pull over a suspect after a traffic crash situation? And it's none other than your supervisor who thinks you'll let him off easy.
I'm very uncomfortable right now.
Are you on?
Yes. Yes, I am. And I'm going to remain on for integrity. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say anything.
I'm not drunk. I'm tired.
Gainesville Police Department Corporal Scott W. Bertzik was driving in the vicinity of Newbury Road in Gainesville, Florida, when he reached down for his lighter and crashed into a vehicle that had just started to move at a green traffic light on January 1st, 2021. There were no injuries at the scene. However, the people in the vehicle struck by Bertzik subsequently sought medical care. Gainesville police officer Brooke Shutterly responded to the crash and immediately recognized Corporal Bertie Bertzik as involved.
And you are Silver Car?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you want to go back over there, I'll come get your info in just a second.
Yeah. Reached out for my lighter, slammed into his ass.
Cool.
No, not really.
Not really.
No.
He didn't want to do an information
No, he
exchange?
does. Now I found it.
While investigating the crash, the officer observed Bertzik having difficulty maintaining balance. He was also slurring his words and had difficulty physically grasping his driver's license when she handed it back to him.
You giving me some indicators? Listen. Valdez is coming out I'm not going to lie to you about it.
She's on her way?
Yeah, she's on her way. I'm not really comfortable with this whole thing at all, but I'm not going to lie to you about it.
I don't mean to put you in that Indy.
From now on, you know how it goes. You can't consume anything, okay?
Bertzik then asked her if her body cam was on to know if it was safe for him to ask her to let him off the hook.
Are you on?
Yes. And I'm going to remain on for integrity.
After performing poorly on standardized field sobriety exercises, Bertzik was arrested and eventually handcuffed at his insistence. Bertzik later provided 2 breath samples, which registered 0.156% BAC and 0.153% BAC. Post-Miranda, Bertzik admitted that he had been drinking Bacardi and Diet Coke.
13, 14.
You can stop.
Perfect.
You over by my car.
Yes, you will.
Yes. Yes. You've been compliant. Can I at least cuff you in the front?
I know. My fault, not yours.
Archie.
And if you think that was too much, FYI, even disabled people aren't safe from the brutal hands of corrupt cops.
No, hey, leave me. My name is Matthew McManus. Hey, no, they took my phone. Help!
What began as a shoplifting complaint evolved into the reason Albuquerque police officer Kenneth Skeens was dismissed. On the 19th of August 2022, a Target employee noticed a man hesitating at the pay register and contacted 911. The officers came on the scene, and without properly assessing the situation, charged in to grab the man who was visibly crippled. Take a look at how the incident was needlessly escalated.
Keep it tight right here.
Put it up and let's walk out, okay? Go up the door. Okay. We're walking out, okay?
Wait. I'm calling 911.
We're walking out, okay?
I'm calling 911.
We're walking out.
The individual was having difficulty understanding what was going on, but the cops misinterpreted. The mighty cops chose to use brute force after the poor old man refused to comply with their demands.
So we're walking out. We'll come back for it, okay?
I'm calling 911 now.
Go down, man.
The man then took a minute to call a friend or family member, but the police, who were determined to hold him without cause, stopped him. Take a look at how the man handles things.
You're not police.
Yes, we are.
Yes,
We're out here.
No, you're not. You're security.
Oh, you got your pen and pad?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So what's your name, man?
None of your business.
All right, then you're under arrest. Go ahead, put your hands behind your back.
Who you calling, man? You ain't even
He's
pressed
calling
call
911. That's what he said anyway. So yeah, just go ahead and put him in handcuffs because he's refusing to identify himself.
It is not uncommon for police to lose their composure over trivial issues. Following the event, an inquiry was conducted, and Kenneth Skeens was dismissed for acting inappropriately. It's just the beginning, but with the correct accountability framework, I believe there might still be hope.
Help!
Okay, ready.
I'm at Target. On 777 something cords and they're beating me up.
So what happens when you're well within your rights, but cops come up and harass you anyway?
You said you're asking the customers for money and stuff like that.
Well, God bless the homeless, sir.
Okay, well, they don't want you up front of the business.
Okay, I don't want you up in front of the business.
That's not how this is.
So you can go get in your car and leave.
No.
Like, I'll give you 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have a nice night.
On December 14th, 2021, Army veteran Jeff was in downtown New Smyrna Beach, Florida, raising awareness for his God Bless the Homeless Veterans outreach program on a public sidewalk. As the sidewalk was right in front of a brewing company, the manager came out and told him to stop, even though he had no right to tell him that. When Jeff ignored his command, he called the cops on him.
I appreciate what you're doing, but I can't have you doing it here. I'm sorry. No soliciting out here.
I'm going to stay here. God put it in my heart to do this, so I'm going to stay right here and do this.
And I could call the police too, but I don't want to do that.
I don't want you to do
Trying
that
to
either.
talk to you man to man, you know?
God put it in my heart to stand here on the public sidewalk. You don't own the sidewalk?
We do right up to here, actually.
Officer Galt of the New Smyrna Beach PD came up and initiated an unnecessary confrontation.
They just don't want you up here anymore.
I don't care. It's not, no, they don't have the authority to tell me not to be here.
They said you're asking for money and stuff like that.
That's what they said. I say I'm not asking for money.
Okay, well, they said you're up front. So can you just go somewhere else?
No.
Why?
Because I'm not going somewhere. God put it in my heart to stand right here. I'm standing right here.
Jeff was then falsely accused of doing things that he certainly did not do. But he defended himself like a pro, as he was well aware of his rights.
Is there a reason why you're friends with this business?
Not particularly this business. I'm just on the public sidewalk.
Okay, and you're not asking for money?
I am not asking for money.
Okay, your sign doesn't say it, so I don't know.
No.
Have you asked anybody for money?
But I mean, I'll tell you, my name is Jeff. What's your name?
Officer Galt.
Officer what?
Galt.
G-A-U-L-T?
G-A-L-T. And you haven't asked for money or anything like that?
I'm not going to answer any questions.
Then came in Officer Beatty, who went a little over the top while trying to make logical arguments.
Okay, they're saying that you were asking for money. Okay, so they have every right to have you move along. Since we're here because they called for you, we have to identify you.
He made up false rights to try and intimidate Jeff into giving up his ID.
I'm not giving you any ID.
Don't go to jail.
I'm not giving you any ID. Like I showed him. Can I reach? I got my ID in my pocket. This is my ID.
You want to play that game?
They then detained him unlawfully, while the veteran displayed an exceptionally calm and cooperative demeanor.
I am armed lawfully. I have a concealed carry permit.
Where's it at?
Here's my hands. It's in my pocket.
Front pocket?
Yeah. Here's my hands. All right. Matter of fact, why don't you guys just put me in cuffs? I don't want any. I don't want any problems.
After seeing that Jeff wasn't resisting at all, they suddenly tried to be friendly with him, but ended up making more absurd statements.
When you don't want to identify yourself and we're called, it's totally different if we're driving by, and that's you over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not requesting anything on your sign. You're not breaking any laws. When they complain to dispatch that you're asking for money, there are customers who are telling the staff that is against the law.
Officer Beatty came back after having a word with the complainer and some of the customers and reiterated the same story he was told by Jeff in the first place.
Yeah, your sign doesn't say anything about me. I just asked the guy who's sitting on the porch, and he says he didn't hear you beg for money. And so the only person who has a complaint about you standing on city property, which is not his problem, which is what I was explaining to him.
I just wanted to stand there on the sidewalk.
He was finally let go, and all of his property was returned.